accords.
But if you negotiate with Putin right now and get him to stop his invasion, I mean, I know you said you're not defending Putin, but I mean, he's an accused war criminal. He poisons his enemies and imprisons his enemies. He's an autocrat. So if you award him part of Ukraine, what message are you sending to dictators and autocrats around the world who are looking to neighboring countries thinking, hey, I want some of that?
When my uncle was president and his military apparatus wanted him to go to war with Vietnam, with Laos, with Cuba, with the Soviet Union during the Berlin crisis in 1982, he said, you have to put yourself into the shoes of your adversary if we're going to have peace. You have to be able to put yourself in the shoes of the adversary and see the world from their perspective and recognize their legitimate security concerns. Now, we have, through a series of provocations, including unilaterally walking away from the two medium-range nuclear missile treaties with Russia, which we all signed, and President Trump and President Obama walked away from those. We promised in 1992 that we would, after the Russians made a huge concession to us of leaving 400,000 troops out of Germany, allowing us to consolidate East and West Germany under NATO control, which was an adversary army to them. And they said, the one thing we want from you is that you will not move NATO 1 inch to the east. And Secretary of State Baker said at that time, famously, we will not move NATO 1 inch to the east. Since then, we have moved it 1,000 miles to the east and 14 countries, and we put Aegis missile systems in Romania and Poland right near Russia's border. When Russia put nuclear missiles in Cuba, which is farther away than we now have, to Moscow, we would have invaded if they hadn't withdrawn them. My uncle was president then. We would have gone in. And my uncle knew why the Russians had done that. He did it because they did it, Khrushchev did it, because we had put nuclear missile systems, Jupiter systems, in Italy and in Turkey. And my uncle, my father, met with Ambassador Dobrynin secretly and made a secret deal. If you remove your missiles now, we will take ours out of Turkey. So, the Russians have been invaded 3 times through the Ukraine. The last time they were invaded, the Germans killed 1 out of every 7 Russians. They destroyed all of it, 1/3 of Russia to rubble. They burned the fields. It's as if my uncle said this in his 1963 speech at American University. He said they destroyed the equivalent of destroying the entire part of the United States from the East Coast to Chicago. Imagine if all the wheat fields, all the forests were burned, all the cities reduced to rubble. That's what was done. They have a legitimate concern about us moving NATO into the Ukraine. We would never let them put missile systems in Canada or Mexico. We would invade if they did that. And we have to be able to put ourselves in their position.